Hello and welcome to another World of Warplanes video with me, Certain Death. Today, this is the second of two review videos that I've made today because there's a special deal in the Black Friday package, and the second one is this one, the British Hawker Hurricane IID. The package looks like this. You get two planes. You get the German Heinkel HE-100D1, which I've also reviewed today, and you get this Hawker Hurricane, which is a multi-role fighter for £13.23 or €15. As ever, there's going to be some replay footage of my first ever run out in this playing in the background while I talk about it. So firstly, well, it looks very nice. That's a good starting point. It looks quite a snazzy plane. I do like that. Let's have a chat about it. Well, good things about it. It's got 260 hit points, which at tier 5 is pretty effective. That's more than most. Now, straight away, what I'm doing here is just trying getting a feel for it. Instant first impression here. That was a sluggish turn. This is not a manoeuvrable plane at all. Its official manoeuvrability rating, I think, is 740, which is quite on the low side. When you bear in mind that the likes of the Miles M20s in the 900, I think the Spitfire's around 1,000-ish. I know they're fighters, not multi-rolls, but yeah, this is a bit sluggish. It's moving at a fairly mediocre speed as well, about 380-ish thereabouts normally, and it's going at quite a high altitude level. So I'm just going along here, leading the pack towards this airfield to try and take this, and looking for some shots. Now, it's got quite an interesting gun setup on this. It's got double 40mm cannons which have a 600-meter range, which is spectacular. However, they are very slow firing. That's them there, bang, bang. That's them there. They're shooting away there, and they're slow moving, and therefore to actually hit fast-moving targets is quite challenging. If you do hit, you can do spectacularly well because they can hit 160 hit points each time, so you can almost one-shot some tier 5 planes. Well, you'll see when these do connect. Okay, there's one, and it just took a massive slice off that plane. But they overheat very, very quick, and they shoot very slowly, so they're hard to make them work. Have to say though, there's a certain fun factor in this almost resounding kaboom kaboom sound. It's a little bit reminiscent of, if you play World of Tanks, playing some of these tanks that are at the high end of tiers, things like the Scorpion G, things like the E100, where they've got very slow guns that go kablam, or the infamous KB2 at tier 6, of course. Anyway, I digress because I'm here to talk about aeroplanes today and not tanks. I took a lot of damage there, and in another tier 5 plane I would have already been out of my first sortie, but I've survived it because of that high hit point pool. I'm just hanging around over this airbase here, so I heal, so I top up my hit points again. So yeah, the guns, it's got those big boom guns which are slow firing. It does have another pair of .303 cannons with a 440-meter range, so you can do the standard chipping away small amounts, tickling damage, but they also overheat quite quickly. So I have found that the guns on this, although they're nice in the respect of the potential damage, they're quite hard to make them work. Now what I'm trying to do here is really calculate the lead required to hit this guy. Now when I do hit him, you can see I've done a lot of damage instantly there. Manoeuvrability is very lacking, so I'm trying and almost hit him there, which could have ended very badly, and that's because this is a slow moving plane. Look how long it takes to turn slowly. If you get a fighter on your tail, you're going to be pretty snookered in this. So the gun's nice but slow and hard to operate. Manoeuvrability is really quite poor. Top speed not great. So at the minute the gut feeling is this is a bit of a mixed bag. Of course it is, along with the partner that came with it in this package, it's a rare plane. You don't see this in the game very often. It's for sale for this weekend only as part of the Black Friday sale, but typically you won't see it. So if you like rare planes, if you like uncommon planes, you like things that you don't normally see on the battlefield, it could be the one for you. If you're just wanting a tier 5 premium plane to make credits, it's probably not your best option. And that's the second time today when I've been saying that I'm probably not recommending buying a plane. If you're wondering why I've bought these, you might be thinking, well, that guy's crazy. It's a combination of a couple of things. I am a little bit of a sucker for uncommon and rare vehicles and planes and tanks, and also, of course, I want to help out the YouTube community a little bit by getting some review footage on there quite early on, because I am trying to develop and make my channel grow. I do want it to become something that people can turn to for, I wouldn't say advice and guidance, because I'm not that arrogant, but just so they can actually have a little look and see what things are like before they spend their money. So yeah, at the minute, I quite like it. I like how it looks, and it's got some redeeming features, but it is certainly not something I'd recommend as a first choice. If you've got lots of cash on the hip and money to spend and you really like throwing cash around, then fair enough, you can get it. If you like rarity, planes you don't see very often in the game, fair enough. But if you want something that's actually going to work, now that's those guns going to work very effectively there. That shows what they can do. But if you want something that actually is just a bit more playable and, frankly speaking, a bit more fun, I would recommend probably not getting this the Hawker Hurricane IID, and that's me almost out. And now you'll see here, I went on fire there, and this is interesting to note about this. I'm just waiting for the respawn. I'm coming back in the game and watch what happens here. I've respawned, literally, a few seconds into the respawn. I'm going off looking for a fight again, and yeah, he's gone. Let's turn around here, see what we can do. Trying to catch up with this guy. It simply hasn't got the power and the mobility to get chasing anybody down. So unlike the other one in this package, the Heinkel, and there's me on fire again. Now that's interesting. Obviously being set on fire is a bit of a weakness. Now I deliberately haven't put premium consumables or any consumables on here because I wanted just to check out how readily it goes on fire or doesn't. And it's interesting that it burned to death the first time, and within 20 seconds of respawning it's on fire again. So that could be a potential drawback and pitfall as well. It's the polar opposite really of the Heinkel plane. The Heinkel's very fast, very manoeuvrable with guns that are very lacking in damage and low hit points. This is slow, sluggish, like moving a bus round really, with guns that potentially could be extremely effective and has high hit points. I wouldn't personally recommend either of them. I think they're both quite hard to play effectively. But on the other hand, as I said earlier, if you have got money to spend and you do want to get something a bit unique and a bit different that you don't see often on the battlefield, it could be the one for you. So as this game kind of peters out, oh, another thing worth noting, it's a multi-role fighter, as we know, and one of the things which I think is a big disappointment is it doesn't come with any additional weaponry. What I mean by that is there's no bombs, there's no rockets. So the only thing you've got to rely on even to deal with ground targets is those big 40mm slow cannons. Now fair enough, they can deal with ground targets, but you're going to put yourself at a lot of risk if you're going in low to the ground to try and take out anti-aircraft guns or buildings on the ground, because those localized fighters will just pick you off easily. They can outmaneuver you and outgun you at close range. So yeah, it's another drawback of it really. Had this had something like a loadout of 4 rockets or 4 bombs as well, I might have been a different story. It might have been something I might have been singing its praises and saying it's worth getting, but I don't know, maybe not. So as this game sort of winds towards an end, I'm just healing up there again over the airbase. The enemy have already sort of taken quite a lot of the ground here, so it's looking like this game's getting away from us. I'm trying to sort of defend our airbase here, but also realise it's too late to really do much about it. So there's not a lot that you can do about this now. There's somebody over there. Now, this final run is, I actually know at this point it's a bit of a suicide run. They are 80% thereabouts of air superiority, as opposed to our little over 50, and I'm going in quite low against a bunch of fighters who I know will outturn and outmaneuver me. I'm just trying to get a little bit of extra credits, a little bit of extra damage by hopefully doing something. See the little guns are hitting there, there's 2 big hits there, so when the gun does hit home, it does very effectively, but see how very quickly it overheated. Now this guy here managed to polish him off completely because nobody really stopped me, but in doing so I've attracted attention to myself. I've now got a couple of guys turned out, have a look behind me, there's 3 of them chasing me down here. My days are very numbered. I can't outmaneuver them, I can't outgun them, I can't do anything other than just try and make it difficult for them. So I'm trying to turn it, but it's so slow as I go up here. My speed's dropping so fast that I'm just trying to can I just get some big shots in? No, I can't. That's me out of there, and that's pretty much the end of the game. Within a few seconds, the game was over. So I'm going to cut towards the end plates now. So on the whole, it was my first run out. All new vehicles take a bit of getting used to. I did okay. I got myself the grade 4 award, and it did make 69,000 credits, but as I've said in previous videos, I typically make over 100,000 credits with some other premium tier 5 planes. I wouldn't recommend this unless you're a collector of rare or uncommon planes. It's hard to play effectively, or at least I found it hard to play. I hope that this video has been of some help to some people and it helps you make your decision either way. Thanks very much as ever. Please do like, share and subscribe. I'll keep the videos coming. Cheers. Goodbye.